Hello and welcome back to the Talking Wolves podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cooper, and today we are joined by two main men of the Talking Wolves podcast game. Dave, how you doing, mate?
Oh, good, thank you, mate. I had my head frazzled by many Arsenal fans on previews today. Great fan base, passionate fan base, but strange opinions on football. But other than that, I'm all good, thank you.
I always see clips on TikTok of Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans and Spurs fans going at each other. And one of them was, I think it was an Arsenal fan basically saying that Neves is mid and he's no better than Xhaka.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God.
I had one. Well, the all sound guys. The one guy I've done previews with before, he was sound. Another channel that I didn't stuff with today. He hates Arteta and all this stuff and kept comparing us to Wolves. And I said, well, he goes, what would happen if Wolves did this, and this? I said, well, if Bruno Lage finished lower than 14th, I think a lot of fans would probably want him sacked. He goes, exactly. So when Arteta's finishing 7th, why aren't we sacking him? I was like, mate, you live in a different world to me, so I can't comment. What do you think about that? I was like, mate, I can't comment. So.
Did you not say he's got to go, blood?
He has to go, blood.
He has to go.
And plus, Arsenal, I've never known as many fan channels as Arsenal as well. You get about 100 requests a match for previews.
Oh, so. It's a joke, Kenny. But you'll have fan channels are subsidiaries of other fan channels, and they've still got 40,000 followers.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's absolutely mental. We'll come on to that when we preview the game. But I've not forgotten you, Finn. We got Finn here. Dave's on the rant. He don't care about you, but I do. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, thank you, mate. I've only just got over the deadline day stream, to be honest. So Dave's put in a bit of a shift, so we can let him talk about it. But no, all good, thank you.
I know his diary's been jam-packed today, doing previews, doing his media duties, but it's always the case with Arsenal. Like you said, there's so many fan channels, but they're all fairly big. Obviously, AFTV is the final boss man of the fan channel, but there's people who appeared on that who have now got their own channels that are now absolutely massive. It's
Marvel, isn't it? And then they all come together. It's brilliant.
Robbie Lyle in a big Thanos costume.
It'd be a cigar in his case, isn't it? The Don Robbie.
Oh, our Christ and Saviour, Don Robbie. Right, chaps, let's get into it. We've got a jam-packed podcast. We'll be looking back at the Norwich fixture, the magic of the cup. We'll be previewing the Spurs game and the Arsenal game. It's a North London double-header. We'll talk about the transfer window because we did our deadline day live, but it was flat as a pancake as usual. We'll go through the questions, and of course, we've got a little quiz based on what happened in the Norwich game. So, no cheating, lads. Get off FB ref. Don't look at it. Want it to be as fair. Stop clicking, Finn. As fair.
As this whole podcast.
Just sit on your hand. But that's all to come. But firstly, Dave, FA Cup 4th round. The cup run is over. The dream is dead. Focus on the league.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I think after we got the semi-final a couple of years ago, every year I think, I'd love to go on another cup run. And I think this year was doable. Obviously, seeing United go out at the time just before the game, Chelsea were losing, West Ham were losing to Kidderminster. I thought, we knock out Norwich here, there could be a couple of big teams or decent Premier League sides that are out. And obviously results in the end changed. And there are still some huge teams in the competition, but I would have liked us to go on a little cup run. I think Bruno seems to be taking the cups fairly seriously, playing a strong team. It's not like he could have rotated much anyway. And with the players available, was that team the best to start against Norwich? Possibly. I would have possibly preferred to see Chiquinho start ahead of possibly Dendoncker, because the way, yes, I think Bruno wanted to pack out that midfield, but the way Dendoncker was playing, he was quite high and quite far on the right anyway, almost playing as a auxiliary right winger. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed about that, but I think the lack of width on the right-hand side as well restricted Podence and restricted Fabio Silva. I think I said it on my review. When we saw Radama play there with them against Sheffield United, you had two wide players keeping the defenders busy, and Fabio was allowed to roam forward with the ball, have plenty of time with the ball, and that wasn't the case. It just very, let's say, first half Brentford-esque performance throughout the whole 90. Just could not get the ball up to the front men, and nothing was sticking. Really disappointing.
Finn, what were your thoughts? Were you at the game?
Yeah, and I picked out that exact same game as well, Dave, Brentford, because I brought a mate along. My sister was working, and he's only been to 2 games this year, and it was Brentford at home and this one. So he still hasn't seen a goal. And yeah, not great performances at all. But again, yeah, just flat, as you say, didn't have much of an alternative team to pick from. We're walking up. We actually shout out Grillet. We had a Grillet on the way, and then my dad read out the team, said that Trincao was playing, no problems, trusted him on it. And then we sat down. I thought, right, he's going to score it. Even like walking on the way up, I said, I think Trincao a couple of goals today. I think you mentioned as well, Matt, that he might score in a dream. So I was talking about that on the way up. People around us were thinking, what are these lot on about? So sat down in the seat. Trincao wasn't there. And then from then on, as you say, Dendoncker as a right winger did not work. But his hands were tied. You could see in the post-match that he's rather frustrated. Just like all we are. And yeah,
I don't know about his hands toes. I think Dendoncker's fucking feet were tied as well, weren't they?
Bless him. It's just, if you put anyone that far out of position, I know it's kind of like, it was a bit lopsided. It just didn't work, did it? And you could tell probably that Trincao COVID test is, it's got to be less than like 24 hours before the game for it to, right, we've got no option but to play Dendoncker right wing, surely. So you do feel for him.
I don't think it was as clear and obvious as playing in right wing. Like, I understand what he was trying to do somewhat. Well, Dave, what did you describe it as more of as a Mazzala?
Mazzala. Yeah. I had all the
FM.
Chicken, yeah. Yeah, the Mazzala role. I used the word roaming playmaker on my reaction video as well. But
helmet.
Basically, Mazzala, for those that don't know, is like a midfielder. Tend to use it in a midfield three, and he will like. Excuse me. He would like sort of push into the wide areas when you don't have a winger. So that's sort of how he was playing. But his runs were good, man. He had intelligent runs, but like it was just a shame that it was Leander Dendoncker on the end of them. To be honest, like there was once or twice where Neves or Martinho picked out the ball over the top to him, and it was just almost the wrong player. But I think if you had a midfielder, maybe a little quicker or a little bit more. Ruthless.
Funny that we can
all
see that, isn't it, Dave? And not the board. It's funny that we can all see that. And
exactly. Ball over the top, unlucky. So frustrating. The first half was really frustrating, but I think Norwich came with a game plan from minute one, didn't they? You saw that taking a little long with the throw-ins. Socks had to get pulled up every goal kick, moving the ball across the box. So yeah, and it just took Davy Coote about 80 minutes to realise what they were doing, unfortunately.
It's only what we do though, isn't it? Like you can't really complain. I understand what he was trying to do with Dendoncker though, but he was occupying that right wing spot, and I think he said it in the post match, like it's not his fault, basically, it's not his fault he doesn't know how to play the role. Because I think what he was trying to say is if you can get, because they play a 4, don't they? Instead of a 5, back 4. If you can get in between the centre half and the fullback, that's your position. Whereas he was like occupying the fullback, and I think that's what he was trying to say. And in the second half, he did it a bit better. But I do feel a bit sorry for him because he's being played out of position. But I like to liken it as he plays a game and it looks like he plays a game in his slippers. Like it's like. He just seems like so unnatural at the minute, and he has been a good player in midfield for especially the first season. I remember the Everton game away at Goodison, the 3-1, like he was outstanding, and we thought, bloody hell, like we've got a real player here, but it just seems to get worse and worse. But he's escaped.
His fault, is it?
Yeah, he is. I think like I said, his runs are so intelligent, and we saw that even last season. He was making runs into the area, and they were good runs, and it was just that. Almost just a little bit of end product at the end of it. Like, I'm not saying he's going to get 15 goals like some people have said on this podcast, but like his runs are intelligent and they're good. But it's just one of those. I think he's been maybe misused is too strong of a phrase, but obviously being shoehorned into something that is sort of out of everybody's control apart from the boards. So
I think the problem is as well, like it's almost his versatility is almost his downfall because he just gets fucking shoehorned everywhere. Like centre half,
jack of all trades,
Mazzala, number 10, striker, centre forward. I mean, he's played centre forward. Didn't he play centre forward against like Burnley or something? Or was that Otasawi? Like
Otasawi, wasn't it? Strange game.
Or he does go like further upfield, probably in games that we're losing. Like it is a shame, but I I don't know what it is. I just don't think he's up to the scratch. You can see he's playing with like a bag of coal on his back. Like you can tell that he's feeling the pressure a bit because everything is just he's so stiff and rigid. You can just say that he's void of every girl. He's void of any confidence.
No one said anything.
I've just like chuckling to himself.
But no, yeah, it's also like if we played Kilman left wing back and then went, God, why isn't he getting up and down quick enough? It's like it's not really his fault. But yeah, you could argue we've never played him in position because at Anderlecht when he was doing so well, he was the sitter. He was like the Neves and would occasionally score a banger from like 40 yards. But
you like he might. I agree with Dave. The runs are intelligent, but if he does end up bringing one of them down on his toe, you don't feel confident that he's going to slot it home, do you? If he's like one
I think the one he came close to doing, did he? I can't remember exactly. I'm sure he brought it down. There was a couple that were overhit, right runs, but the pass was overhit. And there was one that he brought it down. I can't remember if the keeper saved it or he was intercepted at the last minute. I'm not sure. But just overall, we didn't put that. He was the only one in the first half, especially putting any pressure on the centre halves. Grant Hanley got a fairly early booking, and I was rubbing my hands together, thinking, right, we target a few attacks at him, and he's in trouble. And we just didn't in the end, and that was what was frustrating. I thought Semedo looked quite lively. Dendoncker was helping him on that right hand side as well, but just too many loose passes. Too much loose passes and not enough risky sort of final balls for me. Like we played way too safe overall.
Well, I had a dream that, and I put this in the group chat that Nouri, Semedo, Moutinho, and Trincao all got on the score sheet in a 4-1 win. So naturally, I put £5 on it for the lineup. But never mind. We'll get Trincao out and we'll put Nouri, Semedo, and Moutinho in. And the odds were like I'd already spent my winnings because it's going to happen. And then the way that Semedo started by like getting in behind and like beating his man, I'm thinking, oh God, I'm going to have such a good night tonight. And that fell flat on his ass. But Semedo did play really well, didn't he?
He did. It really reminded me, and go with me. It was a game. I can't remember who it was, but we played Jack Price right mid, and Iorfa basically had to run the whole line from right back. And it reminded because Dendoncker wasn't quite in the right place. I was having flashbacks. I think it was Fulham at home or something, and he was just running that entire side on his own. I think he would have had Rashika and Brandon Williams, and he was the ball especially. There's a lot to his chest, and just fantastic. Yeah, he was man of the match for me. If you can have a man of the match in such a poor performance, but he was the shining light. And whether it because we allowed him more space because there wasn't really anyone there, I don't know. But yeah, very impressive with no end result. But we'll take what we can.
Let's talk about the goal, Dave, just before half time. So people on WM, which is probably no kind of barometer for whether it's true or not, are blaming John Ruddy for it. What are your thoughts on it? Admittedly, I've seen it once. I know I can't be arsed seeing it again because it was one of them games, but I saw it in real time.
Yeah, again, I don't think I've watched it back either. One of them where I think it was a soft foul. A lot of people saying it wasn't a foul at all, but the attackers are getting those 9 times out of 10. I think was it Kilman who gave it away. I think there was once or twice in the game where he got caught out a little bit. So that was frustrating. And I just knew as soon as the referee gave it, looked at the time and thought, they've done jack all this half. They're scoring here. And the ball comes in, floats over. I think Ruddy probably should have done a little bit better. He almost just watched the ball go over his head and in, almost a bit Watford at Wembley-esque, Delafeu goal. But I don't know. I can't comment on it too much. We've got a former pro goalkeeper on the panel anyway. I'm joking.
Well, I was gonna say, like, this is we've not conceded a goal from a set piece all season.
Oh yeah.
In the last 3 games, we've had the header that loops over Ruddy. We've got the Ivan Toney volley, and you've got the free kick that Jose Sarr should have caught in his mouth. So
I forgot about the Toney one. That was off a set piece.
Yeah, he saw it a bit. Mate, sack Tony Roberts, get him out. He's obviously not very good. Yeah, get him out. He's lost his touch. Stay off Twitter, big lad. No, it's a soft one. I was having a chat, and I'm not going to say who it is because he does appear on another podcast. It's a 77 Club, but I'll let you figure out who it is if you do.
I think we can all guess, yeah.
And I was speaking to him in the concourse at half time, and he was basically saying because it's come down the right hand side that it's Semedo's at fault. No. I'm not. I don't believe in agendas, but I feel like this one might be a little bit of an agenda because I don't know how you can blame Semedo for that.
No, you can't. Of course, you can't.
Mm.
It's very. I don't know who was marking. Like I said, I've not seen the goal back. I might put it on now, but I'm sure it was Kilman that gave away the foul. And I feel that yes, the player went down easily, but as soon as you're in that corner, and you're in a bit of trouble. And like I said, the refs give them 9 times out of 10. But frustrating, isn't it? Right on half time. I think we would go in at half time 0-0. Completely different game. They've still got to come out and attack us a little bit. So that's what was frustrating, really, that we conceded that goal and just gave all the momentum to Norwich. You literally have to rip up your halftime notes and say something else. That's how frustrating it is for Lage.
And people saying that Ruddy was at fault. Now we've been critical of Ruddy on this podcast numerous times. It's almost like he comes to the FA Cup and he wants to chuck one in. But he made 2 outstanding saves as well as that. The one in the first half, the 1-on-1, and the one down to his left hand side. So if you do think Ruddy's at fault, he probably stopped it from being 2 or 3. So it was a difficult one though, wasn't it? But I was the same as you, Dave. I think I put it in our group chat after the United game, the Middlesbrough United, saying and Plymouth had just scored against Chelsea, there's a real good chance here where you can do something. And naturally, I know that the Chelsea score and the kid admit to score change, but
yeah,
it's just a shame, isn't it, Finn, that we're not going to have a cup run, and we say we're focusing the league, but it shouldn't have to be either or.
Yeah. I remember seeing in the semi-final, actually, when we had 5 games left of the season, we got knocked out in the semi, and he went, oh, well, focus on the league now. I was like, what's on it? Like that league, that excuse you can only put in these sorts of rounds, can't you? And we don't have many players, so maybe it will be a good thing. But yeah, it's all about silverware, and it is a shame. And we would have got Liverpool in the end anyway. Norwich have drawn Liverpool, but if anyone could do Liverpool or Man City to knock them 2 out, that are kind of the 2 favourites, I think it's as everyone says, don't they, about that final? We'd have made it such a better final.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at,
there's been less goals, but
you look at previous heads-to-heads in the FA Cup against Liverpool, we'd have to go in as favourite, surely, wouldn't we?
Yeah, get Andy Vyman in on loan.
Yeah, he's banging him in for Bristol City still. He's absolutely. He had a bit of an Indian summer, but if you could pick your man a match from the game, Dave, I know Finn said Semedo. Who would yours be?
Trying to think of a Saki response, and I can't even think of one. So yeah, I'd probably have to be Semedo as well. So yeah, probably Nelson Semedo. Definitely not the concourse in the North Bank. They were dead slow. I even went to the one down the bottom end where it was a bit quicker. But yeah, Semedo.
Stick to the South Bank, mate.
Yeah,
coming over.
We were all North Bank boys, weren't we, for that one? That's what none of us have got a good view on the foul, but.
Yeah, it's my second. I went with my mum. It's the second game she's been to this season. And she's lost. So, Julie, if you're listening, you are coming again.
Neither's Will.
What did you think of Lage's comments after the game? I personally thought they were very telling, along the lines of the fans say top 6 in Europe. Well, we're just trying to do as best as we can, or something like that with the players we've got. I can get the quotes up.
I think it's pretty much a message to the board saying. Look how well we're doing. Yeah. Look how well we're doing. Look at my squad, and look what the fans are expecting. All 3 of them. I need some sort of support or some sort of backup. He made it pretty clear. October, November, December, start of the season when he said he wanted 2 players for each position. He hasn't got that, has he? And I think we all know that Fosun probably gave him a slap on the wrist after some of the comments before Christmas, because he soon quietened down. I think it was after United, was it? We won, and all was, happy days again. So I think he's definitely disappointed at the investment. And I think us as fans as well, I've sort of learned over the last week or so that we've just got to get on with it. But at the same time, when we lost Adama Traore, you would half expect us to bring somebody in of that sort of quality as a winger. And yes, you could say, yeah, but we've got Neto, we've got Hwang, we've got this and that back. Mate, Bruno doesn't even class Chiquinho as a senior winger. He keeps saying, I've got 1 senior winger. Where does that leave Chiquinho? For what it's worth, I thought he came on and did well, but flipping heck. It's clearly a message.
I think on the last podcast, I was like, hypothetically, if we got rid of Adama and you took Guedes on loan, would you be happy? And you'd be like, Maybe. Like, bloody hell, like, who do we think we are?
You know,
Who
as
do
I
we
said.
think we're kidding?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, but we should have though. We should have. We
No, I
should have
know, but like,
replaced him.
hindsight's a wonderful thing now, isn't it? Like, I bet, imagine if Jess listens to that thinking, what a pair of knobheads.
No, I know.
Look, I've got the comments here. It said, second half, we came with different dynamic, created chances and deserved to score. Congratulations to Norwich. We did everything in our hands with the players in our squad. But after Trincao with COVID and only one senior winger in the squad, our plan was Leander to do the same. The fans look for Europe and the top six. I look at my squad and the players available and try and find the S word for every game. So, I refuse to say the word. I've still got PTSD from
your flashback,
yeah. I think it's really telling, but it's almost like it's too little, too late. He said it at the start of the window. He's had a slap on the wrist, and now he's back again, knowing that they can do absolutely nothing about it. But Finn, do you reckon he's going to be reprimanded again? Do you reckon he's going to be verbal warning upgraded to a written warning this time?
Yeah, I bet you if they'd have given him an extra 10 minutes just to cool down before that press conference, I reckon he wouldn't have said it. Some of the comments are a bit like, I bet he's thinking, oh, I wish I didn't say that, especially after they're giving him a slap on the wrist. But you can see it both ways, because I think we even said, didn't we? And I don't know whether we're going to bring it up. Like, Dendoncker, I don't think you can fully blame that. Like, you got Kundal that he raves about. It's like, oh, we don't need cover in midfield. Because the main thing, I completely forgot. Wingers never even came up in my head for the transfer window until maybe last minute when Adama went. I know all of our wingers are injured, but it was midfield for me. And if they do rate Kundal, surely he's a little bit quicker to get onto those balls that we were talking about, just missed Dendoncker, etc. So there were options. Chem Campbell, I know, was like as desperate as we're getting to like 18-year-olds, and they shouldn't have to do that. But you can go back at him with stuff like that. But he's saying as much as he can in the situation, having probably been slapped on the wrist twice now, but he's well within his right. I think the fans are all behind him, aren't they? You didn't see many people blaming Bruno after the game on Twitter. It was, you see what you've done, folks. And so he's in a good position. He can walk that line now, I think, every time we lose and every time we win, he's going to look like a hero for doing it with 7 players or whatever. So.
Doesn't that when you've got a crash on the bench, though, does it? But you make a good point about Kundal.
You made it first, to be fair. I've stolen it.
That's right, mate. Like we've obviously heard that Bruno really rates him and that he could come in and replace anyone in that midfield. But in a game that you're chasing, when you need something a little bit different, why is he getting 0 minutes? Why didn't he start? Like this is what I don't get. Like he can't rate him that highly. I understand why he keeps Dendoncker on tube for defending set pieces, as he's mentioned before, but I just don't understand it. It was a perfect game to maybe blood him in front of a packed Molineux. Full. Would it be his full debut? Because I know he's come off the bench.
I don't know though, because he's untested, and if Bruno wants to go and win this game in the FA Cup, I think just to throw him in, all he's had is 5 or 10 minutes in the first team, just to throw him in for the sake of it. Almost, I had a conversation with someone on Twitter before the game about it. Just to throw him in for the sake of it doesn't achieve anything. And he said, well, what, when we get injuries, what's going to happen? I said, well, we can worry about it then, can't we? And he thought that was a stupid take, but that's what it is, isn't it? Yes, we've got every right to be concerned and be worried about injuries, but there's no point in panicking about it until they actually sort of happen, as mad as it seems. I think, yes, we could have done with maybe another body for sure in centre mid, but Bruno trusts him to do a job, but not necessarily just to be thrown in at the deep end, Because if he started and had an absolute stinker at Norwich, Luke Kundal wouldn't get the blame. Bruno would get the blame for that one. So he's got to be very cautious with it. And like you said, with the whole set pieces, I think, as mad as it sounds, that I can't remember what game it was after, Bruno brought that up, and he goes, the fans are slating me for substitutes, but I've got to think about 10 different elements of the game I've got to worry about, not just can I bring one player off and bring one player on.
I noticed when we switched to the back four, bloody hell, if we're going to do that next season, I think we need another couple of centre-halves.
All over the place, weren't they?
Oh, my God. It was like the parting of the Red Sea. I couldn't believe it, but there was a real lack of balance as well. Like, you play like Cody and Kilman in the 5, and they look like Brazilian centre-halves, and you put them in the 4, probably more so Kilman. It was like, have these pair ever kicked the ball in the life?
Do you remember You remember the first time Nuno switched to it against Southampton? The exact same thing happened. The back four were just like, there was such a huge gap, which is weird because Kilman and Cody normally play so fairly close together anyway, you would expect. But yeah, they were all over the place. But I noticed Semedo trying to bomb on as well, and Cody was going mad at him, saying, "Look, there's only 4 of us now. You're gonna have to stick back a little bit more."
I'm glad I'm not the only one who picked up on that though, because I was like, this is like shocking at the back.
Yeah. No, I think they had a chance from it, didn't they? But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to. There's a reason we're not playing back four at the moment, and it's because Bruno hasn't got the players. So I think that's going to be a rarity this season anyway.
Every centre back as well, you see the difference in. Like, if I was a centre half, I'd be one of playing in a 5. Rudiger in a 4 looked useless last season. Now he's been like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich wanting because he's playing in a 3. Remember, like Soyuncu playing in a 3 looked unreal. Now in a 2, he's horrendous. It's it really helps you out, doesn't it? Like, and that. But it does help you out if you're in a 3. I remember Paul Merson did a big thing saying if a manager plays a 3, it's because he doesn't rate his defenders, which is kind of sad.
There is that, but like someone like Rudiger is very good at defending large spaces, which is what you need in the back four. You need centre halves who can dominate large spaces. I don't think Cody and Kilman can. Kilman, for how big he is, he's not a presence, if that makes sense. Like, he's a big lump, but I always feel like someone's going to out jump him or climb or like I don't know what it is. Even
I don't think his positioning's great overall. Even that big chance Adam Ida had in the first half come from strange positioning from Kilman. It was once or twice that he got caught out with that. So I think that's one of the things. Look, I mean, if Bruno wants to switch to it, and it sounds like he wants to do that in the future, I'm sure he's not going to be stupid enough to just start doing it from the game against Arsenal. You know what I mean? I think he'll do it from next season when he's got a full 6-week program to get the players drilled on it.
You've got to coach that. It's like, I know we've been critical, and rightly so, because it was shit. But that can be coached. That can be, like I said, over a pre-season, get it absolutely drilled in. This is how you defend that space. But I also don't think both of them would play in the back four. Maybe one of them. Thing is with Cody though, like it's that age-old debate, isn't it? How do you drop him? Do you bite the bullet? He's the club captain. He's now Mr. Wolverhampton. Do you kind of risk dropping him and upsetting the dressing room, fan base, etc., for it to maybe go tits up? Like,
he's been class this season. I'd assume you're talking about if we switch to a 4.
Yeah. Not a 4. Like, he's perfect for the 5. There's probably not many players in the Premier League who play that. Well, who play the role as good as him.
I don't know. Like, I think maybe it's just because I'm used to a back 3 or back 5, but I think it sort of just works for us as a club, and I think you can make it work even better if you've got the players. Another centre mid. Imagine a more energetic central midfielder in that team on Saturday. A proper number 9 other than Jimenez. No disrespect to Silva, because I think there's something there, but just 1 or 2 different additions, and you're laughing. I think yes, we probably still do need another dominant centre half, but I don't know. It still works. It's obvious it can work. You just need the personnel,
and we have got the personnel to play that back 5. Like, it's perfect. You've got 2 offensive wing backs. You've got 2 outside centre halves who are very comfortable in playing the ball out and bringing the ball out. I mean, Kilman's been excellent at that this season, and then you've got Cody, who's positionally fantastic. Again, distribution, like it's the perfect storm. But you take him out of that, and it's a different story. If you want to play a back 4 and you want someone who can, defend big spaces and be comfortable at bringing the ball out, you're probably paying like 60-70 million for a centre half, and we need probably 2 of them. So I think eventually he'd want to do it, but then you look through the academy, they all play a 5, don't they? Or 3 or 5.
Still,
It's like it's ingrained into the club. Like you said, it suits us as a club, but maybe another energetic central midfielder, maybe a better number 9. There was an article, I think it might have been in the Mail, after the game, basically saying Silva looked like he's worth 3.5 million and Jimenez is nowhere near the player that he was. I think those comments are harsh, but even with the Jimenez thing, it's like I don't think he's nowhere near the player, but I tend to agree he's not the player that he once was. And it's sad, but maybe that's something they address in the summer. I don't know, but Because he hasn't been the same, has he?
I don't think the service is there, though, to be honest. I don't think the service is there from the wide areas, and the service isn't there from the midfield either. And that was the same on Saturday as well. Say it again.
Dropping a lot deeper as well to link play.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. And for me, that's a sign that your team aren't getting the ball up to you enough. I always think that, and it's frustrating. I don't mean I think he's probably still the player with the most goal contributions, with goals and assists combined out of all our players. So, yeah, it's something there, but overall the service just isn't good enough at the moment.
He hasn't missed a sitter, has he? You can't think of
Well, there was a chance. I think Pedence obviously hit the post. I thought, you know what, you got Jimenez there. You're laughing. It's 1-1. And even Silva, in front of goal, I trust Silva. He's just actually getting the ball up to him in and around the box.
Perhaps that's just the eye test, though. Like me saying that, like he's not the player he would. Perhaps it's not that. Perhaps he is. He's perhaps just playing a different role. He's playing a completely different role. He's not. But we don't commit players into the box anyway. Like I don't know what it is. At times that we flashed the ball across the box at the weekend and no one was there. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad cross because they said the same about Adama, or he's just like smashing it across the area. Like, well, if there's no one there to attack it, it makes two players.
There's 3 or 4 good crosses on Saturday. Yeah. Chiquinho whipped in 2 serious balls at some pace, to be fair, but there were 1 or 2 across the ground as well that were good pace. Just literally need someone to gamble on it.
And without upsetting us further, did you see Adama smash it across the box in a Barcelona shirt?
That was a typical Adama Traoré cross.
Yeah. Assist straight away.
The thing is, though, the thing that pisses me off about, like, on Twitter, he's gone to Barcelona and he's played in the game against one of the better clubs in the league, and he's had a good game. He's got an assist. I didn't watch the whole game, so I can't comment. Oh, it's a shit league. He's rubbish. It's a shit league. But then we'll wax lyrical about Vitinha scoring against Portuguese minions. It's like, make it make sense. Like, you can't apply that for one player and not
can't
the
even
other.
say it's a bad league when they're playing at Letty as well, man. Like, it was a good goal. To be fair, Gavi did well there.
Would spank us. I have no doubt about that. Like,
what it was, I've watched the highlights and it's like they'd never seen anything like him. People were just bouncing off him. It was very fun.
They couldn't figure him out, could they? At Letty?
No,
you know that TV
Why isn't he
show
cutting inside and crossing?
That's that TV show in Spain, which is literally a meme.
TikTok.
Yeah, that one. There was a guy on there absolutely slagging Adama off. I mean, I don't speak Spanish. I had it translated, but he was like, he doesn't. He's not even a good dribbler on the ball.
He just said he's all muscles in there, something.
Yeah,
I thought I was listening to me dad for a second. Yeah, it's and people saying, oh, he was, he didn't want a beer. He was a bad egg, and it's all the club have basically come out and like said his professionalism was exemplary. So
Bruno loved him as well.
Yeah, he was probably happy to stay for another. Anyway, we'll probably get into that a bit later. And it's funny though, lads. We've had 4 wins on the bounce, and when we've talked about games, been like, yeah, decent game, love that, like a really good performance. Yet we have 1 loss, and it's like half-hour segment on where it went wrong and that we do for the rest of the season.
That's what in the car on the way home, I was thinking the same. Like, oh well, striking options. We haven't got many wingers coming back for a month. It's our most important month of the season. So and so isn't looking sharp, and you do 1 loss, and you go into this existential crisis where everything's going wrong. But yeah, 1 win out of these next 2, I think, and we'll be back on the right path.
Well, let's go on to that. We've got Arsenal on Thursday night at 7:45. But before we get into that, more so, we are delighted to announce that we have a new channel partner in BetMate. You may have seen us announce it on Twitter and stuff. I think we announced it on Sunday, but they're our new official channel partner. So it's essentially a social fantasy football betting app that allows you to bet against other people's team selections across most leagues in the world. Premier League's on there, La Liga and stuff. But with BetMate, there's always a winner. So entry fees range from like £1 to £10, and 90% of that money goes into a prize pot, and like the top winners will win a share of the prize. We're going to be talking about this on the podcast a little bit more, and we're going to kind of go head to head with you guys in the Talking Wolves League, which we're really excited about, because I know Dave, Finn and I, we all think we know ball, but as you're probably going to see from like the next few weeks' leagues, that we absolutely know jack shit about football. But it's a little bit different on BetMate. With traditional fantasy football, you'll have like it's mostly goals and assists that are rewarded, but this is a little bit more strategic. So if you're a defender, you get awarded points for tackles and interceptions, less so than you would goals and assists. So, for example, if you're a defender, you get 1 point for a tackle and 6 points for a goal, whereas you're a centre forward, you get 4 points for a goal and 2 points for a tackle. So it does balance itself out. But for this game, there is a free to enter. So all you've got to do is download the app. It's really simple. I always get put off by these kind of apps where it's like you've got to enter, you've got to get your driving license out and verify it. Like it literally took like a minute to do. I was well impressed with it. But if you sign up using the link in the description, it's free to enter this one, the Wolves Arsenal game. All you got to do is pick 6 players, and it's your chance to win a share of £200. Dave, do you want to talk us through your team first and why you selected it and why it's probably going to fall flat on its arse?
No, I've gone pretty level, like half and half Wolves Arsenal split. I think I've been probably a bit too biased on one or two choices. Yeah. I saw your team and it sort of inspired me to make 1 or 2 changes, to be fair, man. So I've gone with Sarr in goal just because I think, he's the man and he can keep a clean sheet. You know the drill. But back two, initially I went with Semedo and Tierney, I think. But I've changed that now. I've gone with Kilman and Ben White, mainly because of the tackles. I think that can work. Midfield 2 of Neves and Ødegaard. Again, tackles, I think Neves and Ødegaard in there for a bit of creativity. And then my front 2 are Jimenez and Lacazette. Probably the 2 most likely players to score on each team. But I've gone with Jimenez as my captain. I'd assume it's double points for captain, is it, Matt?
Yeah, so for vice captain, it's 1.5 times. And then for captain, it's times 2.
Okay.
So I toyed with, similar to you, I had Jose Sarr in goal because he's the best on earth. And I think Ramsdale's got a bollock in him.
He's on my bench, Ramsdale.
Say again.
He's on my bench,
I've got Ramsdale on the bench, so he can't be that bad. But I was like, do I put Semedo in because great at tackles, great at interceptions, or do I put Kilman in? So I put Kilman in and put him as vice captain and put Ben White in too. So my theory is that Kilman's going to be heavily involved, trying to stop those attacks coming down the side with Martinelli and Saka playing quite wide. So I put Kilman in as my vice captain. Then in the midfield, I put Saka. Just hope he starts. Nice. I just hope he starts. Yeah. I think he's a special player. I think on his day he can cause anyone problems. And I've captained Moutinho in the middle because I think it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be won or lost in the midfield, and I think it's going to be a real combative game. I think there's going to be tackles, interceptions flying in everywhere. And Moutinho's in a glut of form, mate. He'll score, and you're all laughing at me now. But
if he scores, I'll double your winnings if you get any money.
And then I've got Jimenez and Lacazette up top, similar to you, Dave. I did want to captain Jimenez, but at the minute he couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo, could he? So I've left that out, but I still think he could get an assist because, as you said earlier, highest goals and assists for Wolves so far. Then I put Cody on the bench, Podence and Martinelli. The good thing is about this app as well, you know, when you play like fantasy footy on, the Premier League, the leaderboard updates like throughout the game, it's live, and the substitutes actually come in during the game. Obviously, if your player goes off and you before 60 minutes and your player comes on, it'll actually show it within your squad. Whereas like the fantasy football one, I think you have to wait like a couple of hours, don't you, for the results to come in, which is a bit of a nightmare. Finn was a little bit late to the party. He only selected his, in fashion, he only selected his team just before.
2 minutes ago.
Who have you gone for, mate?
I'm feeling pretty reassured. Sarr, White. I've gone 8 Nuri, copy my actual FPL team. And then that sort of interceptions stuff has sort of gone out the window from then, looking at what I picked. You did tell me about it all, but I've gone Saka and Podence in midfield. Captain Jimenez and Martinelli. So
I went Podence initially. I've changed it though. But you never know, man. You get an assist or goal. He's
a guaranteed start, isn't he? That's what I'm thinking. Because there's no one else to play. True. And obviously, we've got to captain Jimenez because
he's your boy.
I'd be hounded. Yeah.
So I wanted to play Podence. I've got him on the bench. I was like, but then he was a midfielder, and I was like, because that's what he's there. I was like, if he was a forward, I'd definitely put him in there. But because he's a midfielder, I just feel like
get points for Cruyff turns.
If it was points for nutmegs, mate, it'd just be 6 Cheetos in there. Who do you think? I mean, there's quite a few people who've joined already, haven't they? In this league, and like I said, it's free to join by using.
We
the link.
slate all their teams.
Well, we'll have a leaderboard from the next pod to see how people did. But we're probably going to be doing it every week or couple of weeks anyway.
If anyone enters, screenshot your teams and send and reply to the podcast tweet at Talking Walls, and we'll have a look and rate your team.
Yeah, well, because the FPL do that, don't they? They do like a clinic of teams, but I don't know why we're talking about.
And if they're any good, we'll steal your ideas.
Yeah, hey, you're not meant to fucking say that. That's all bit trying to keep that under wraps. But like I said, we're delighted to be working with BetMate. Really good, top bunch of lads, and of course, with this, there's still the cooling off periods and deposit limits within the app if you do need those. And of course, when doing this, please gamble aware. But let's move on to the game itself. Massive game in the grand scheme of things. If we beat them, I think we can go above them, can't we, Dave?
Correct. I think we're only 2 points behind them, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So and then we play them again in a couple of weeks. So if you can get 4 points out of this, it may make a massive difference in the landscape come the end of the season when we're 14th.
This month in general is huge, isn't it? We play every single team we play, teams that I'm expecting to be in and around us if we want to be serious about European football. It's hard to sort of pinpoint how many points would be a good month for us. Look, if we can win every single game again, I think I'd start sculpting a statue of Bruno Lage myself. But if we can get 9 points out of the 15, I think that's good because you've taken 9 points off European rivals. If we get 2 wins for argument's sake over Arsenal, even the 4 points you mentioned there, we've got really nice cushion on them then. So yeah, the end of this month, start getting a few players back, Hwang back by the end of the month, possibly Johnny, might be start to see Neto in the squad as well. And we've done well. We're going to be in a good position in the league, and as the squad in general is going to be the healthiest, most complete squad that we've seen as a Wolves fan over the sort of last 12 months or so.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember as well, these players aren't going to come back in tip-top form straight away. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to bed in, which is just a shame, really, because I think if we'd have had, especially the likes of Johnny and Neto back, say Johnny, he's been really good, but especially Neto back maybe a month and a half before, I think we'd be in a very, very good place to get that top 7 or maybe the Conference League. But we shall see. But Finn, what are your thoughts and feelings for this game? Do you reckon it'll be a tough game? Because usually we're all right against Arsenal, don't they? They seem to flap it a little bit.
Yeah, I was watching Premier League years of last year today, and we did Chelsea, got 4 points off them and we got 6 off Arsenal, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Arsenal this January have had a much more publicised meltdown, I think, than we have on transfers. We didn't really get much of a look in, but all the national media was saying, how did they not bring in X, Y, and Z? Literally, I'm sure Dave's heard a lot of it today as well. What is it? More midfield? They're having a meltdown about. Oh, it's striker as well, isn't it?
Striker, they didn't bring in a striker.
Yeah, Lacazette, who's got 6 months left, and Cassie, who's got 6 months left. So that's our only striking options. So even though we've got that minor cloud of transfers and out the FA Cup, they've got a few clouds over themselves as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I think this one and Leicester maybe the ones where we're most likely to get points. So
they 2 home games, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, mate, watching Leicester yesterday. This going on Tuesday and Sunday. Oh, my word. How bad were they? I mean, I don't want to say gash twice, but they were horrendous.
You know what? Yesterday, over the weekend in general, including Friday, it was the first time in ages I've actually sat down and just watched loads of football. So I watched the United game. Don't know how they didn't smash Borough. Ronaldo was so far off it. Saturday, watched a couple of games, but yesterday, Sunday, I got the Liverpool game I watched the Leicester game, and watched the Bournemouth game. Was good as well with Borough and Wood. So it was a class weekend of FA Cup action. But Leicester, I don't know what happened with them. But who did they lose to now? Forest, obviously, completely different team to when we played them at the start of the season. Smashed them 4-0 at their place. They've beaten Arsenal now. They've smashed Leicester as well. And I think they got some good players. Jed Spence, who's only on loan from Borough. And Brennan Johnson as well, the winger, looked really, really good. So they got some good players, and I think they're in a position there. If they don't get promoted, they'll have a couple of those players poached, I think.
I like Matt. It sounds mental, and people are going to be saying like this geezer knows absolutely nothing about footy. But I like Keenan Davis. I don't know for the Villa.
Mate, he was good.
He's such a throwback. He's such an archetypal number 9, like big.
Oh, he was. It was the ball.
Like, he's huge, but he's such a problem.
Every time the ball came to him on the bounce, mate, his first touch was ridiculous. Like, he just tracked the ball out of nothing, and he just started every single move. Like, and there was a chance he had ball come over, he chested it down and volleyed it and hit the bar. Yeah, he was really good. But welcome back to Talking Forest.
It's good. I know, but you what like, and that Leicester fan who ran on the pitch and decided to throw a dig at him. Like, you've literally picked up probably not the biggest bloke on the pitch, probably the biggest bloke in the stadium. Like, he's an absolute monster. Like, what a muppet he was. But yeah, like I said, welcome back to Talking Florists. It is a massive game though against Arsenal, but I think we're feeling more confident about getting a result than perhaps Arsenal are. Would you not agree, Dave?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
what's the consensus today on the channels that it's going to be a tough game, or?
Yeah, I think so. The one guy I just spoke to was adamant Wolves were going to win, but he was just very negative about everything. So I don't know. I think it's a tough game. All our games have been close to them, haven't they? So, you know, at the Emirates we've had close games. I think when we when the season got cut short before, I think we lost them, didn't we, at Molineux? But last season we had a couple of good games with them. What was the result at the Emirates? I know we beat them at Molineux. I know we won. We got the double over them, didn't we, last season?
Yeah,
because the Jimenez kind of like galvanised the performance, and then
so we got
the game at Molineux, we were such a bad run of form, playing terribly.
We got 2 reds, remember?
Yeah, thankfully,
they were all over us as well.
Fancy the chance of an auxiliary left wing back, didn't they? And come out and like
yeah,
I still don't know why he did that.
They still won about that penalty, don't they, Arsenal fans?
Yeah, I don't get like why they're so arse. It's like, oh well, like an Arsenal player will get like a player who gets sent off against Arsenal. It's like, well, this was a red card. It's like, what do you not understand about the rules?
Or a player gets sent off in like Swindon, Accrington, Stanley, and they go, so that was a red card. And
this was a red card. Yeah. I don't get what if there's any Arsenal fans watching it, the reason why he's been sent off is because
different rule.
If it had tried to get the ball and absolutely wiped him out, he wouldn't have got sent off. But in the letter of the law, he's not attempted to play the ball. So that's why he's been sent off. It's a ridiculous rule. And when you break it down like that, it is stupid. But unfortunately, I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. So get over it, because it ain't going to change anything. And that's the best case of VAR actually working. Then not long after the Arsenal game in London for Arsenal's arch nemesis in Tottenham Hotspur, again, a really, really tough game. But one I think that we can win, Finn.
Maybe. I wish I shared that optimism. Prefer not to speak. Yeah. They look good against Brighton. There seems to be somehow, despite having those few embarrassing failures in the transfer window, got a few good deals over the line. And I was listening to some Tottenham fans talk earlier, and it's worrying because they seem happy. And they don't normally seem happy. So, I suppose all fans tried to find a positive and got a few good additions in, as I said. I don't know. We've had some good times, haven't we, at Tottenham away in various stadiums. But I don't know. Conte scares me as a manager. Well drilled. It's probably going to be a 5 versus a 5, and that hasn't gone down too well this season when we've had that. So less confident. But if you could put some positive points across, that reassure me, please. I'm just hoping that the Norwich game is a blip. I think we'll find out on Thursday whether it was or not. Because if you discount the FA Cup game, which I'm doing because it's in the cup, I think we can beat anyone on our day. From the last 3 games we played in the league, we've been excellent. But I think Thursday will be the telltale sign as to where we're at. But Dave, Spurs, reckon we can do the business.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, obviously last time we were there with the fans was an unbelievable game. So last away game before the lockdown. But yeah, they're a good team. Like Finn said, looked really decent in the cup as well against Brighton. I don't know. I think we've done pretty well previously at keeping Harry Kane quiet. I think you keep Son and Kane quiet, and you're laughing. Really, the rest of the team isn't fantastic. But you know, Conte's starting to find his feet a little bit now, and they're doing all right. And yeah, that's the game really. That's the toughest game this month, I would say, at the moment.
Yeah, like you said, Finn, the Spurs fans seem happy, but I don't think they do. But that's not aimed at Conte. That's aimed at Levy for the transfer business, missing out on Dias and Traore, which I don't know what they're asked about because he didn't want to go anyway. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game, tough place to go. But imagine how short the podcast's going to be next time if we beat Arsenal and beat Spurs. It'll be about 20 minutes.
You don't have to dissect everything. Yeah.
We're classing. Nottingham Forest did well last week as well.
Yeah. Where in terms of the fixtures in Feb, we've got Arsenal at home, Spurs away, Arsenal away, Leicester at home, West Ham away.
Leicester before Arsenal the second time.
So it wasn't in. Sorry, I was just really.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Rank those in terms of hardest to easiest games, or hardest to less hard.
Rank those in worst fan bases, Dave.
I'd say Spurs away toughest, Arsenal away second, West Ham away third, Arsenal home second easiest, and Leicester at home easiest. But they're not. I'm not saying that is the easiest game. I'm just saying.
There you have it, guys. Dave has a party record.
No, I'd say on paper. It's probably going to be the opposite now, isn't it? I'd say on paper they're the games we should get surrounded. But Leicester probably would be one of our toughest opponents since we got promoted. I think we've picked up very little from them, especially in the last couple of years. All more draws than IKEA with them, really. There you
go. I love that. What about you, Finn?
Yeah, the same. It depends what West Ham turn up, whether you could swap those two Arsenal and West Ham games in that list. But I don't know. It's unfortunate, like with Spurs, that we're facing them like they've had no Romero, no Son, and now they've got them. I think Arsenal have got like Partey, etc., coming back as well. Leicester's definitely the easiest. Would you take 2 points out of the next two?
No.
Yeah.
I think just because you're taking points off your rivals as well, I think I would.
Depends on the last three, Finn. But if you said
rival, so it doesn't make sense. You're not taking points of any rivals. You're getting point apiece. Well, you are, but
no. But as in, like,
and they're not gaining any space. Like,
I see what you mean.
Would you rather win? No, yeah, that's.
Would you rather
win one and lose one, or draw both? But numbers dictate probably win one.
If only there was like a fair system to devise who finished above people in the league. Yeah, I want 4 points in the next two, personally. Whether we get them or not. Well, Dave reckons we're gonna knock everyone for 6. So
I think we're gonna get 15 points. Yeah,
we're gonna win. Score 15 goals. Let's move on to the questions because conscious of the time. It's been quite a productive podcast. I've enjoyed it so far. Starting with Twitter, thanks for everyone who sent in the questions. I had quite a few as usual. Andy Willis has asked, do you think Bruno will walk in the summer if he doesn't get backed reasonably by Fosun?
It's a question that loads of people keep asking, isn't it? And I think I said at the start, I'm sure somebody said it in the summer. If we don't back him this window, he may as well walk. But I thought, you've got a bloke here that at the time hadn't even had any Premier League experience on a pretty, I'm sure, fat contract. I don't know what he's getting per week. But he walks away there from a massive contract. Who's going to appoint him? He's not proved anything in the Premier League. Maybe after a season he could do, but in this day and age, he's on a mad contract, a couple of years left on it. He's not going to walk. It very rarely happens, does it? Because he knows he's not the enemy at the moment. So
no, he's like it's weird because he's not like a Nuno where he's like straight over to the fans and gives it the fist bumps, and like people really resonate with that. Like we all bought into it. Where Bruno's a bit more standoffish. I don't feel like everyone's backing him, but it's not like there's no real love affair like there was with Nuno. Perhaps that'll change if he wins us the league, but I don't know. Finn, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no. If he finishes a European spot with Wolves, his stock will obviously. Well, he's had one job before, but his stock will never have been higher, will it? So, if a tempting offer came in from somewhere that was like, right, we rate what you've done there, we're going to give you an actual transfer budget, and Wolves weren't, then maybe you could see that, but not walking flat out to, I don't know, go and be assistant at Swansea again or whatever. It's not going to be like that. that would be a fall from grace. But yeah, I don't know.
Bruno
The only
walks,
worries that he's
Tony
getting
Roberts
poached.
gets the job full time. Something
I actually
could
think he'd be
probably
a
get on board with.
decent gaffer. Maybe not at this
Player
level right
coach.
now, but I actually think he would be a good manager.
He'd end up trying to fill someone in every game, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Seems like a nutter. This question here, I'm not really sure what it is actually. It says buy or let Trincao. I mean,
Let.
if you could potentially get him on a help to buy also, it might be something that we could.
Buy or let?
If you
What
love
does
him,
that
let
mean?
him go, maybe.
I'd assume let go, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Potentially, yeah, probably
Oh.
what he means.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Do you buy him or do you let him go? Or do you rent him?
renting for another
How can
season.
it help to buy ISA with a rent to buy to rent? I don't know. At this point, I still am completely unsure. I agree with you, Matt. Like you said in the previous pods, that I know there's a player in there, but I know, and again, I know it's not my money, but I would not be comfortable in the club spending 20+ million on him at the moment.
And
I need to see more.
You're spending 30 million on potential, which
Yeah.
obviously Wolves don't spend
Respect
anything near
Silver.
£35 million on potential. We know that they've done that. What about you, Finn?
Yeah, it is tough when, like, what are you going to get from him even if he did hit that potential? Is it worth a 30 million risk to maybe get 50 down the line? It's like, are Wolves playing in that sort of area? I don't think we are. But I think now with Neto back by March, maybe he's got this month, once he recovers, obviously, with some pretty tough games. You've got like a 4-game audition now, basically, because I think it's going to be limited once Neto's back. So I guess at the end of the month, we'll have a much clearer thing. And if he hasn't been great, that's probably Neto back in, and then that's probably see you later, let him go. I think it's pretty much crunch time for him now. It's no pressure,
Is,
mate.
though, if you let him go, you've still got to replace him with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guedes on loan.
There we go.
But he is a future star, everyone. Remember.
Which is going to be like the new, when's Guedes signing? You just know it's going to be like Talisca.
Yeah.
You still have to replace him. Paul Wharton has asked, is there any weirder rivalry in football than Norwich Wolves?
I think the only people that thinks it's a rivalry are Norwich fans. You know,
Very
and
strange.
the best thing is, you know, I was walking past the subway, or walking through the subway when all this beef happened. It was Norwich fans giving it the big one, saying, like, obviously chanting. He goes, "Going down, or we fuck.
We're going to win the
Stay
cup
up and win the cup and all this." And I was like, all right, okay. And there was this one fan goes, I'd rather stay up and do well in the cup than finish 10th in the Premier League. Kept giving it the big one. And as soon as Wolves fans started chirping back at them, they all started getting like proper worried and ran off up the stairs. But I think there was a little scuffle, but nothing too major. And then them blokes went to the Norwich press, said we started battering them.
Yeah. Didn't you knock 4 blokes out, Dave?
No, 5. It was 5.
Sorry,
and a little girl. She started and I sweet chin music.
You know, anyone can get it, mate.
Really.
I know.
Yeah.
Maltese mouth.
That subway turned many a nice bloke into.
No, it was the subway wasn't moving. Like, it's so busy. I just bombed it up uptown.
We give you sure, weren't you? Giving it
yeah. Maybe one subway army.
I don't really like. It may or may not have happened. I don't particularly care.
I don't think it did. I don't think it's as bad as they made out.
Like, it's a weird thing to lie about. Like, normally you get like clubs lying about actually like laying people out, but Norwich have lied about being beaten up. Like, I don't really get it. It may have happened. It might just because someone's not reported it or it's not been captured on CCTV, and the police have even come out and said it's nothing's happened. Something may have happened. We don't know. But I just think it's odd that 7,000 Norwich fans have come out and said that they've reportedly something happened. Bearing in mind they all come in the same car. I don't. Just honestly, it baffled me. I mean, it's been quite interesting to kind of sit back and watch it on Twitter. But
they're still upset about something that happened 20+ years ago. That's their issue.
So my mum and my dad, maybe. Mark Sidaway's asked if Neves signs a new contract. So if they offer him one first.
He's got 2.5 years, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is it still?
Is it too?
Yeah, I don't think it's 18 months. Otherwise, we'd still be hearing about it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I think it's 2.5 years. I think they've got to try and pin him down this summer. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a similar situation to the Traore. I don't think he'd make as big a deal out of it as Traore has. But Not that Traore has, by the way, but I don't think it will drag on as long as Traore. I think Wolves will learn that
run his
they've got
contract
their best value is going to be 24 months plus left on the contract, isn't it? So I think they've got to try and pin him down this summer. But I think that purely depends on whether we get European football.
What do you reckon, Finn?
I was going to go with the slightly different angle of it. Depends, like the whole summer transfer window, but I suppose it does depend on Europe as well, Dave. You're right, but
well, if we don't get Europe, they got to say to you, like, Ruben, what can we do to make you stay?
It goes hand in hand, though, doesn't it? If we get Europe, you'd like to think that they'd show more ambition in the window. So if you got both of them, you'll stay.
It's just ambition in it. Like you saw the quotes recently. I know we probably fall for them too much, and I remember saying Jota will never leave us. But you see the quotes that he's saying about how he's had his family here and he wants to do it with Wolves. And I think a lot of players would have left before now. He's been pretty patient. I think if I had that ability and the clubs that have been mentioned sniffing around me, I think the draw of my kids might go to school here.
We've been really lucky with him as well. We've been lucky because I think every Wolves fan expected when we signed him in the Championship that he'd probably be here 12, 18 months and then go.
Yeah.
And I think that is, and I think as a club, we've been quite lucky with that. I think, we've signed these players at the time, like Moutinho, Patricio at the time, like you're thinking, what on earth? Like, how have we managed to sign these? And really, we've only flipped 2 for a profit, which were Jota and Adama. We've been quite lucky to keep all the others. It's just a shame that we haven't really seen a bit more investment at the moment, like over the last couple of years. So I think we have been quite lucky in the respect to those players that we have kept hold of.
I think if Neves would have obviously signed when he did, we got promoted, and we'd finished 12th. I think he may have gone after that. But the fact that we've come up, finished 7th, got into Europe, he spent 3 years there, he signed a new deal. It's almost like probably the first bloke and probably the last bloke to fall in love with Wolverhampton. Like he must obviously he loves it. And like I said, if I think he'd have come up and finished like 12th, he wouldn't be that arse. But now it's almost like ingrained in him. So obviously expected to go in the summer. Now we've said that. A couple more questions. Are we rooting for Adama's success in Spain?
No, he's abroad. Yeah, if he was in England, no. But
I feel a bit sad watching it, because he's got so much coverage on it as well.
And then cameras in La Liga, by the way.
The 8K ones, they're sick, aren't they? I saw the Dani Alves celebration. I thought it was off FIFA, man. It was strange. It was so good. It sounds like their president is planning on triggering the clause. So 30 million, I think, is a good amount of money for him. So I hope he does well and I hope it gets triggered.
Couple more. Do you think we will continue with Totti Gomez and bring Saiss back when he's back? Personally, I think Saiss. I think he's a better player. I don't know. I'm not convinced about Gomez. Done all right. He's been a bit of a stopgap, but Saiss, he's taught us to play.
Yeah. I think Saiss as well. I do feel sorry for Totti Gomez. He's been all right. Done a job. Played quite well. Pretty hassle free, but yeah, I'd probably say Saiss if you want to, especially this month against some tough opposition. I'd say Saiss.
This one isn't a question, but it says Dave the GOAT.
Who said that?
Lib Ferguson, it says. No.
Brilliant.
No, he's Holden 3776 on Instagram.
Cheers, Holden.
Cheers. Most handsome player at Wolverhampton Wanderers. That's one from Tom Parker. Yeah. No, it's not.
Handsome. Patricio was good back in the day.
I'd say Moutinho, man.
Yeah,
or Neto, isn't it? Yeah. This is
Moutinho without a beard doesn't do it for me, but yeah, a good sort of.
Have you seen Moutinho back in his Porto days, like when he used to wear glasses?
Yeah, good-looking boy.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, right. Oh, when he had like.
If you search, no, like when he's casual clothes, he looked like a librarian, man. I'm not even lying. Nah, but
Neves in the Porto days was all right. Oh, Neto's, he's
got to be Neto, isn't it?
Oh, mate, I think if I was attracted to any, it wouldn't be my type. But I feel like Trincao does it for quite a few people. I think that's an option
as well. Yeah.
Like Lib and my sisters are obsessed with Trincao and Neto. They're the two. Yeah. One sister's got a weird obsession with Fabio Silva as well.
I'm not sure about Neto's new gingery dyeing of his hair. Preferred it before, but we'll give it a down.
I saw Podence on Saturday and I thought like he'd been run sealed. Like he looked like he'd been creosoted. Has he been on the beds for like a week? Because
Probably.
it looked so.
He's got
didn't
a
he?
ginger tone as well with his hair.
Yeah. Like his head looked like he looked like the bus from Heart Attack.
Welcome back to Loose Women, Wolves edition.
Is your man cheating on you? We're gonna...
Mum. I'm going.
He's got that. The last podcast we didn't have this section where we just talk absolute shit.
I know.
I'm glad it's back. Okay, one more question from Mark Davis. He thinks that our first 11 is better than the first 11 at Arsenal, Spurs, and West Ham. Do you agree?
Who? West Ham, Arsenal,
And Spurs. I don't think it's a combined 11. I think it means individually.
Nah. West Ham maybe. Arsenal maybe. I wouldn't say Spurs.
Finn?
probably take our wing backs over Spurs, and that's probably about it. Maybe Neves. Yeah, definitely Neves. Yeah, definitely Neves. Actually, yeah. Maybe
it's close. With Spurs,
yeah.
It's close. It's a draw.
Yeah. Song, yeah, this is strikers that tip it. I probably have Sarr over Lloris as well. They're all rubbish, yeah. But
it's like the Chris Sutton gets told to pick his SPFL team of the year. It's the Celtic players, like.
Yeah.
Final question from Mark, the Norwich fan. It says, would you be able to ask Dave as a party why he punched my 7-year-old daughter in the face on Saturday? Dave, any comments?
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Oh, I think that's all. I think that's all for this podcast. Gents, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed this one. Finn, where can people find you should they wish?
I mean, I've got time for the quiz, but yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot the quiz. Let's do the quiz. Thanks for... I prepared this earlier. Finn, you're a lifesaver. You're an absolute lifesaver. It's going to be a bit of a... Sorry, chaps. It's going to be a bit of a long one, this. I know you've all got homes to go to.
It's all right. Kilman. Thanks for listening, everyone. 5 points,
Finn. Yeah. Right. I completely forgot about this. I'm so glad you reminded me. This is like a bumper episode, isn't it? You better all sign up to BetMate for this. So this is from the game on Saturday, chaps. And they're all Wolves players. So it's just Wolves players, no Norwich players involved in this. Same format as usual. I'm going to go with you first, Dave. Who made the most crosses for Wolves?
Crosses?
Successful and unsuccessful.
Bit of a mix, that was. I'm going to go with 8 Nori.
Finn?
I'm going to go bold. Chiquinho.
3, I'm sorry, only made 2 crosses.
Yeah, I thought that
very bold.
Yeah.
I think I made 3. The answer was Ryan Aït-Nouri.
Go on,
Dave taking an early lead.
Go on.
How many?
How shit must you be? As a party scored a point. He made 5 crosses.
He was on set pieces, Finn. Remember? So.
Oh, good point. Yeah, and cut. Yeah.
And also, Dave looked at FB ref about an hour ago.
Yeah.
So. Finn, who drew the most fouls for Wolves? So, who was fouled the most?
Pedent seems to be on the floor a lot, but I can't remember them being given.
That dive in the box in the first half was special.
He slipped.
I know, he could have gone round, yeah. I can't remember any fouls really in the corners, like the wing-backs getting fouled. I'm going to go with Pedence.
Dave?
That seems the most logical, but at the same time...
I can remember that one where they, 3 of them hacked at him in one. That's the only
that
I'm
was
going to go...
Albert, mate, I'm afraid.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Totally them up.
I'm going to go Neves.
I was thinking someone in the middle.
Ooh. So the answer was Little Dan.
Oh. It just seems so obvious.
Dan. He was fouled 3 times.
All in that one bit.
Yeah. over to you, Dave, as a party. Who committed the most fouls for Wolves at the weekend?
Kilman.
It's gone straight in. Finn?
I like that shout, but for the interest of excitement, I'll go Matinho.
How have you both missed this? Think of how many times the ref blew the whistle and you're like, how is
Not for Fabio.
It's Fabio Silva.
What? He got robbed, to be fair, with a couple of them. He rolled Grant Hanley twice.
There's a rumour about Grant Hanley. If you give it a little Google, you'll find out what it is, but it's quite a crude one.
Biggest tackle in the game?
Yeah, not most tackles, but biggest tackle at Molineux on Saturday was Grant Hanley. That's the rumour. Fabio Silva, he committed 4 fouls. What did he say?
He said, you forgot I was in the crowd.
Who made Finn? Back to Finn. Yeah, who made
my mum and dad?
There you go. Who made the most tackles to regain possession? So they made a tackle, we've won the ball back rather than it going back to them. Yeah. As I explain every single time we do this. Who made those most tackles to regain possession? Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Have we had most tackles already? Like just most tackles on its own?
No. We've had most crosses, most fouls, biggest tackle, and fouls committed.
I'll say Neves.
Dave?
Kilman.
I feel like last time it was a defender, wasn't it?
You're both wrong. It was Nelson Semedo with 3 tackles. 3 tackles. So is it 1-1?
That was impressive.
Yeah.
Juan.
1-1.
It's a decider. I don't know what I'm going to do if you both get the right answer.
We'll take a draw.
Tie break. I'm going to have to go for a tie break. So, chaps, to take it all home. Who made the most interceptions? Dave as a party.
This will be good for BetMate as well.
It will be. Did you do, don't they? Finn?
Just because they kept trying to play that ball to Ida, I'm going to say Cody.
There is a winner. Making the most interceptions for Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday with 3. It was Ruben Neves.
Yeah! Get in there.
Is that the first one you've won, Dave?
No, I won the first one. Yeah, I smashed everyone.
Did you?
Last time I just had a bit of an off week. Yeah. I had my Harry Mansell moment last time. I'm back in the game.
I did ask Harry to come on the pod, but he said he couldn't. But I did tell him there was a quiz, so that's probably why he didn't want to come on. So I'm actually going to close the show out now. Thanks for reminding us, Finn. You could have not done that.
You could have saved yourself from disaster.
Yeah, from absolute embarrassment. But Finn, where can people find you should they wish?
There you go. Never speak up, kids. FINERRZ on Instagram. Oh God, I forgot what social media. But Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. There we go. That was painless.
David was a party. Where can people find you?
Dave as a party. DAVEAZZOPARDI on Twitter.
M Cooper writes on Twitter. Matt Cooper bites on YouTube. And also, don't forget BetMate game this before. Well, I think it closes at 20 to 8. The prize pool. So make sure you get your teams in by then. Really easy and free to enter this for this round. We will have 3 games as well in the future too. And for your chance to win a share of £200, and of course, ply your wit against 3 absolute footballing dinosaurs in us 3. As usual, Dave, would you like to see off the show and say where people can find and tell them where to like and subscribe and review and all that nonsense?
Yeah, well, the BetMate link, we'll make sure we leave it at the top of the description as well. So if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or obviously on YouTube, check it out. You can click that link. It'll take you straight to the App Store to download it. And yeah, if you're listening on Apple, be sure to leave us a 5-star review. The Spotify one, I've said a couple of times, but I don't know if you can actually do it, so I need to sort that out. But yeah, if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and off us free. You will see us all very, very soon.